You ever get that feeling? Like, he's got to know. Got to peel back the layers and see what's underneath.
I think we all do, right? It's human nature to be curious, to crave those answers, especially when something seems just a little bit off.
And nowhere is that truer than on the internet, right?
Yeah.
A place built on information, yet somehow full of these mysteries, these unanswered questions that just stick with you.
Absolutely. It's like this weird paradox. The
hmm
more connected we get, the more shadows there seem to be.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We're going beyond the usual, the big names, the obvious
Right,
ones.
we're looking at those forgotten corners, the lesser known cases that still make you wonder.
So for all you listeners who love good rabbit hole,
The ones who just got to click that next link, got to find out what happened.
this deep dive's for you.
We've got a collection of cases here, all from different corners of the internet.
Reddit, YouTube, message boards, even a possible real-life puzzle hidden in, get this, a Pink Floyd album.
I know, right? It's a real mix, so buckle up.
Okay, so let's start with one that takes us back a bit. Early days of Reddit. This was what, like 2009?
Yeah, around then. The site was still kind of finding its feet. And that's when this whole Lake City Quiet Pills thing pops up.
Lake City Quiet Pills. Okay, that's already an intriguing name.
Right. It all starts with, eulogy.
A eulogy.
Yeah.
On Reddit. Okay, what's so mysterious about that?
Well, it was for a username Religion of Peace, or Rofi, as they were known,
Okay,
and they supposedly died at 79 years old.
79. On Reddit. See, that's what I'm talking about. Already something's not adding up.
Exactly. I mean, Reddit eulogies weren't exactly common back then, especially for someone of that age.
Yeah, that's not exactly your typical Redditor demographic.
Right. So people were already curious, but then they find these hidden messages.
In messages.
When
Why?
Rupi's profile, tucked away in the code, the HTML, if you know what that is.
I mean, I kind of do, but for those who don't, it's basically the building blocks of a website, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And these messages, they weren't just gibberish. They talked about quick stuff, dry work, needing people for unusual jobs.
Okay, see, now that's creepy. That's not just some, like, inside joke.
Right. And that's what had everyone wondering, was this some kind of elaborate game?
Like one of those alternate reality games, right?
Yeah.
ARGs, as the cool kids call them.
Yeah, exactly. Those were getting pretty big around then, using the internet to tell a story, but also using the real world too.
So, like, clues hidden online could lead you to, like, physical locations.
Exactly. So some folks thought that's what this was, that Rapi's death, the eulogy, the messages, it was all part of this big ARG.
Okay, I can see that. But those messages, though, dry work, unusual jobs, it sounds kind of sinister, doesn't it?
That's the thing, right? It could be a game, sure, but what if it wasn't? What if it was something darker?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, what if this wasn't about a game, but about recruiting people for something?
Right. And the internet, especially back then, provided this layer of anonymity.
So you could be anyone, say anything, and no one would really know.
Exactly. Some folks thought maybe Ropi's profile was being used to recruit private contractors.
Mercenaries. Like, for real.
Possibly. Or maybe something even less savory. The point is, we don't know. It could be harmless fun. It could be something way more serious, and that's what makes this whole thing so unsettling, right?
Absolutely. It makes you think twice about who you're really talking to online, doesn't it?
Totally. And that's the thing with a lot of these internet mysteries. They force us to confront that uncertainty, that feeling of, like, do I really know what's going on here?
And in the case of the Lake City Quiet Pills, well, we still don't have those answers. Was it a game?
Yeah.
Recruitment tool? Something else entirely? We might never know.
It's like a ghost story for the digital age, right?
Yeah.
A reminder that even in a world of information, some things just stay hidden.
Okay, so from the shadowy depths of Reddit, let's move on to a mystery that kind of took the internet by storm. Something a lot more global.
You talking about Cicada 3301?
Oh, you know it. The one that many consider to be like the gold standard of ARGs.
If that's even what it was.
Exactly. But before we get into all that, let's set the scene. It all starts in 2012, right? With a simple image posted online.
Yeah, just a black image with white text. Nothing fancy, but the message, though, that's where things get interesting.
It was like a call to arms, right?
Yeah.
Specifically to highly intelligent individuals.
And an invitation to embark on a journey to find the truth.
Now, that sounds like a classic ARG setup, right?
Right?
But Cicada 2301, it was so much more than that.
Oh, absolutely. It was multi-layered, intricate, and like you said, it spanned the globe.
We're not just talking about, like, solving riddles online. This thing involved cryptography, steganography.
Which, for those who don't know, is basically hiding messages in plain sight.
There was number theory, classical music, even references to, like, ancient literature.
People were deciphering clues hidden in images following GPS coordinates that led to real-world locations.
And even traveling to different countries to find more clues. It was insane.
The level of commitment was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the puzzles were so well designed, so interconnected, it just fueled the mystery even more.
Right, because the question became, who was behind this? What was their purpose?
Some folks thought it was a recruitment tool, maybe for a government agency like the CIA or MI6.
Others thought it was a test, like for a new digital currency or something.
There are even theories about secret societies and, like, elite hacker groups being involved.
And to this day, despite numerous claims of people solving the puzzle, Cicada 3301 never officially confirmed any winners,
The puzzles just, poof, stopped in 2014, like they never existed.
leaving everyone to wonder, what was the point? Will we ever know?
It's like they vanished into the digital ether, leaving behind more questions than answers.
And that's what makes Cicada 3301 so fascinating, right? It's this testament to the internet's power to connect and conceal, to create these mysteries that just transcend borders and challenge our understanding of what's even possible.
And it makes you think, what happens when a mystery stays unsolved? Does it become more intriguing? Or does it just fade away?
Maybe both. But speaking of things that definitely don't fade away easily, our next mystery takes us to the edge of the internet.
The dark side, you could say.
Exactly. We're going deep into the realm of creepypasta and, digital nightmares.
We're talking about Sad Satan, and this one, it's not for the faint of heart.
Listener discretion is advised. Seriously.
So imagine this. It's 2015, and a YouTube channel called Obscure Horror Corner starts posting these playthroughs of a game they claim to have found on, get this, the dark web.
But the dark web. Okay, we're already in creepy territory.
Right, and the dark web, for those who don't know, it's that part of the internet that's intentionally hidden, requiring special software to access.
It's like the internet's basement, right?
Yeah.
Where all the less savory stuff hangs out.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's often associated with illegal activities, but it's also where people can share information anonymously or access things that are censored elsewhere.
So already there's this sense of danger of the unknown associated with the dark web. And then this YouTuber claims they found a game there called Sad Satan.
It immediately grabbed people's attention. Like, what kind of game would even exist in a place like that?
And the game itself, it didn't disappoint when it came to the creep factor.
Oh, no, not at all. It's not your typical jump scare horror. More about atmosphere, unsettling imagery, the kind that just sticks with you.
Like a digital nightmare.
Right, exactly. Picture this. You're navigating this dark, pixelated maze, like something out of an early 90s computer game. The graphics are crude, almost amateurish, but that just makes it creepier.
And then there's the sound. Distorted whispers, static, children crying in the distance.
It's like someone took all the unsettling sounds they could find and just threw them in a blender.
And that's just the safe version, right?
Yeah, because the YouTuber claimed the original Sad Satan he found, it contained links to actual dark websites, even disturbing images, potentially of real-life abuse.
Okay, that's taking things to a whole other level.
Right, but even without those elements, the safe version was enough to freak people out.
Just that feeling of unease, the cryptic messages, the overall atmosphere, it was all still there.
And of course, the big question became, who created this thing and why?
Was it just a game, or was it something more sinister?
Some folks thought it was a psychological experiment, like testing the limits of what people can handle.
Others thought it was a twisted ARG, pushing the boundaries of interactive storytelling into a dark and disturbing realm.
And then there were those who thought it was a cry for help, a message from someone trapped in a dark place, using the game as their only way to communicate.
Ugh, that's a chilling thought.
Whatever the true purpose of Sad Satan was, it remains one of those internet mysteries that just lingers in the mind, you know?
It makes you question the boundaries of online content, the limits of artistic expression, and just the sheer darkness that can exist within the digital world.
It's a stark reminder that the internet, for all its good, can also be a breeding ground for the disturbing and the unsettling.
And that sometimes curiosity can lead you down a very, very dark path.
Speaking of dark paths, let's shift gears for a bit and talk about a mystery that blurs the lines between the digital world and a real-life tragedy.
You talk about Elisa Lam?
That's the one. The case that, for many, still has no satisfying answers.
Yeah, I remember this one. It really captured the public's imagination, and it's easy to see why. It's got all the elements of a classic mystery: a disappearance, chilling surveillance footage, and a web of unanswered questions.
Not to mention, it all takes place in a location that already has a pretty dark history. The Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles.
Right. The hotel itself has been linked to numerous deaths and disappearances over the years, so it's like it's already got this creepy vibe going on.
It's like the hotel itself is a character in this mystery.
Exactly. So Elisa Lam was a Canadian student visiting LA in 2013.
She was staying at the Cecil and then one day just vanishes.
And the only clue to her disappearance was this piece of surveillance footage from one of the hotel's elevators.
This footage, it's eerie to watch. It shows Elisa entering the elevator, pressing multiple buttons, peering out of the elevator like she's hiding from someone.
And making these strange hand gestures like she's trying to communicate something but can't.
It's like she's in another world, completely detached from reality.
And of course, the footage went viral, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to figure out what was going on, what it meant.
Some thought she was having a mental breakdown, others suspected foul play, and then, with the hotel's history, some even brought up supernatural theories.
Right, because how do you explain that behavior? It's so erratic, so unsettling.
And then, weeks later, the mystery deepens. Elisa Lam's body is found in one of the hotel's rooftop water tanks.
In the water tank? How did she even get up there?
That's what everyone wanted to know. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning, but a lot of people still aren't convinced. The circumstances surrounding her death are just too strange, too inexplicable.
Like, how did she get into the water tank? And what about her behavior in the elevator?
It's like the internet took this real-life tragedy and turned it into a modern-day ghost story.
Even though there's an official explanation, those questions still linger. It's like we need to make sense of the senseless, even when there might not be any answers.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most disturbing mysteries are the ones that intersect with real-life tragedies, the ones that leave us with this feeling of unease that just won't go away.
Okay, so from the spooky depths of the dark web to a real-life tragedy that feels ripped from a horror movie, we've covered some pretty intense ground. But before we wrap things up, let's go back in time for a bit to a case that proves that even in the pre-internet era, technology could still be used to create chaos and confusion.
Ah, you're talking about the Max Headroom incident. A classic.
I am. The one where someone hijacked a TV signal and broadcast this creepy, distorted figure resembling Max Headroom, that computer-generated TV personality who was, like, super popular back in the 80s.
Exactly. It happened in Chicago during 2 separate live broadcasts on different channels. Imagine that. You're watching TV and suddenly the signal gets interrupted and this masked figure, mimicking Max Headroom, pops up on screen.
And it wasn't just a quick blip, right? This went on for a while. The figure was rambling incoherently, making these jerky, robotic movements.
Even spouting off some bizarre phrases, like something out of a fever dream.
And the whole thing was just unsettling. The distorted voice, the creepy mask, it felt like a prank gone wrong.
Or maybe even something more sinister, like what was the point?
And here's the thing. No one ever came forward to claim responsibility.
The FBI, the FCC, they investigated, but they could never trace the signal back to its source.
It's like the perpetrator just vanished into thin air, leaving behind this weird, unexplained event that still has people scratching their heads to this day.
It's a reminder that even before the internet, people could manipulate technology to disrupt and confuse.
And that sometimes those disruptions leave us with more questions than answers. Like, was it a prank? A statement? A cry for attention? We may never know.
It's fascinating to think about the Max Headroom incident in the context of today's internet culture, though, right? Imagine something like that happening now, with the ability to spread information instantly and globally.
Oh, the chaos would be insane. It makes you wonder what other mysteries might be lurking out there, hidden within the vastness of the internet, just waiting to be discovered.
Speaking of hidden mysteries, let's talk about one that combines music, intrigue, and a possible real-life puzzle, the Publius Enigma.
Oh, yeah. This one's like something out of a Dan Brown novel, but with a Pink Floyd soundtrack.
Right. So picture this. It's 1994. Pink Floyd releases their album, The Division Bell.
And almost immediately, rumors start swirling among fans that there's a hidden message, a puzzle, embedded within the album.
This wasn't just some random fan theory either. It started with a message posted on an early internet forum by someone calling themselves Publius.
Publius. Okay, that's already a mysterious-sounding name.
Right. And Publius claimed that there was a riddle hidden within the division bell and that the first person to solve it would receive a unique surprise.
Naturally, this sent the Pink Floyd fandom into a frenzy.
Oh, yeah. People were analyzing the lyrics, the album artwork, even the stage design of Pink Floyd's concerts, looking for clues.
And then, during a concert, the word enigma appears in lights on the stage.
It was like Pink Floyd themselves were acknowledging the existence of this hidden puzzle.
But despite all the speculation, all the analysis, no official solution was ever revealed.
Some folks think it was just a publicity stunt, a way to get people talking about the album.
Others think it was a genuine puzzle, but so complex that no one ever cracked it.
And then there are those who think Pink Floyd, being the enigmatic band they are, were just messing with their fans, you know?
The Publius Enigma, it's a perfect example of how the internet can take something and just amplify it, turn it into this ongoing mystery that keeps people guessing for years.
It's like a digital scavenger hunt that never ends.
And it speaks to that human desire to find meaning, to find order in what seems random. Like, we want to believe there are hidden messages, secret codes, just waiting to be deciphered.
It's the digital age version of like searching for hidden symbols in ancient texts.
Exactly. And sometimes, maybe the search itself is more rewarding than the solution.
Maybe that's the point.
Okay, from cryptic messages to global scavenger hunts, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. But we've got one more mystery to explore. One that takes us right into the heart of the internet's own, well, its inner workings.
You talking about WebDriver Torso? The YouTube channel that was so bizarre, so seemingly pointless that it sparked all these wild theories.
That's the one. It always fascinated me. The idea that something so simple, so seemingly mundane could generate so much mystery is just, it's incredible.
So picture this. It's 2014. A YouTube account appears with this very strange name, WebDriver Torso.
Yeah, not exactly the catchiest name, right?
Not at all. And the videos themselves, they were even weirder. Just these short clips, a few seconds long, showing red and blue rectangles arranged in different patterns, accompanied by these odd beeping sounds.
It sounds like something a toddler would make by randomly hitting keys on a keyboard.
Right, but here's the thing. WebDriver Torso was uploading hundreds of these videos every day, sometimes up to 400.
Okay, see, that's too much effort for something that's just random noise.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason, right?
That's what everyone thought. Theories started flying. Was it some kind of secret code? A communication system for spies? A test of YouTube's algorithms?
And the fact that the channel owner never offered any explanation just fueled the speculation even more.
People were analyzing the patterns of the rectangles, the timing of the beeps, trying to find any hidden meaning.
Like deciphering a message from aliens.
Yeah, right. And then, after months of mystery, Google comes forward and admits that they own WebDriver Torso.
Wait, Google. As in the Google.
The one and only. And their explanation, they were using the channel to test video quality on YouTube.
So all those cryptic rectangles and beeps, all that internet sleuthing, it was just Google making sure their videos were working right.
That's what they said. And while it makes sense, technically it didn't stop some people from believing there was something more to it.
I get it. Sometimes the simplest answer is just, well, less fun.
Exactly. But even though WebDriver Torso might have a mundane explanation, it still highlights the internet's ability to create mystery, to spark our curiosity, even from the most unlikely sources.
It shows how our minds are wired to look for patterns, for meaning, even where none may exist.
And it's a reminder that sometimes the most captivating mysteries turn out to be, well, just something ordinary.
But maybe that's the beauty of it, right? The internet, like life itself, is full of surprises, full of things we may never fully understand.
And that's okay. Sometimes it's the mystery that keeps us going.
Okay, so we've gone from the depths of the dark web to the technical inner workings of YouTube. We've explored mysteries that remain unsolved and those that, well, maybe have been explained, at least to some degree. What connects all these stories, these digital enigmas that have captured our imaginations?
I think it's the internet's power, right? It can amplify our sense of wonder, our desire to make sense of the unknown. It's the space where information and misinformation mix, where facts and fiction blur, and the line between the real and the digital is constantly shifting.
And in that kind of environment, it's no surprise that mysteries thrive. They tap into our curiosity, that need to solve puzzles, our fascination with the unexplained.
And whether these mysteries remain unsolved or get explained, they leave us with this sense of awe, this feeling of, wow, the online world is vast and complex.
And they remind us that the internet, just like life, is full of surprises.
It's like we've just dipped our toes into the world of internet mysteries, and the deeper you go, the weirder it gets.
Oh yeah, and trust me, we're about to go deeper. I mean, we just talked about creepy games on the dark web,
And a real-life mystery that feels straight out of a horror movie.
but we're not done yet. We're going back in time, back to the days before the internet as we know it, to a case that proves that even in its simpler forms, technology could still be used to, well, to mess with people.
The Max Headroom incident. Now, that's a blast from the past.
Oh yeah, 1987. I was just a kid then, but I remember hearing about it. The story goes, someone hijacked a TV signal in Chicago.
Not just one signal, actually. 2 separate live broadcasts on different channels. Imagine that. You're sitting there watching your favorite show, and suddenly...
A signal cuts out, and this weird, distorted figure appears on the screen.
Yeah, wearing this creepy mask, mimicking Max Headroom, you know, that computer-generated TV personality who was big in the 80s.
And it wasn't just a quick glitch, right? This went on for a while.
Yeah.
The figure was rambling incoherently, making these jerky movements, spatting off these bizarre phrases.
It was like something out of a nightmare, beamed right into people's living rooms.
And the creepiest part, no one ever claimed responsibility.
The FBI, the FCC, they investigated, but they could never trace the signal back to its source.
It's like the perpetrator just vanished, leaving behind this weird, unexplained event that still has people scratching their heads.
It makes you think, you know, was it a prank? A statement? Some kind of artistic expression? Or maybe just someone with too much time on their hands and access to some broadcasting equipment?
Whatever it was, it's a reminder that even before the internet, people could manipulate technology to disrupt and confuse,
Yeah.
to mess with the system.
And in a way, it foreshadows what the internet would become, this place where anonymity and technology could be used to amplify anything, from the mundane to the truly bizarre.
Okay, so from hijacked TV signals, let's move on to a mystery that involves music, intrigue, and, well, a possible real-life puzzle. The Publius Enigma.
This one's a classic. A Pink Floyd mystery. Gotta love it.
It's like something out of a Dan Brown novel, but with a psychedelic rock soundtrack.
So picture this. It's 1994. Pink Floyd releases their album, The Division Bell. A huge album, by the way.
And almost immediately, rumors start circulating among fans that there's more to it than meets the eye.
Like, there's this hidden message, a puzzle, woven into the album somehow.
And it wasn't just some random fan theory, right? It all started with a message posted on an early internet forum by someone using the name Publius.
Publius. Yeah, that's a pretty intriguing name, I'll give you that.
And this Publius claimed that there was a riddle hidden within the division bell.
A riddle that, if solved, would lead to a unique prize.
And that was all it took. Pink Floyd fans, being the dedicated bunch they are, they went all in.
They were analyzing the lyrics, the album artwork, even the stage design of Pink Floyd's concerts, trying to find clues.
And then, during a concert, the word Enigma appears on stage in lights.
It was like the band themselves were acknowledging this mystery, this hidden puzzle.
But despite all the speculation, the analysis, no one ever came forward with a definitive solution.
Some people think it was all a publicity stunt, a way to boost album sales.
Others believe it was a real puzzle, but so complex that no one ever cracked it.
And then there are those who think Pink Floyd, being, Pink Floyd, were just messing with their fans.
Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. The Publius Enigma, it's a perfect example of how the internet can amplify and sustain a mystery.
How something that starts as a simple message can turn into this ongoing quest for answers that can last for years.
It speaks to that human desire to find patterns, to make sense of the seemingly random.
To believe that there's always something more, something hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered.
It's like we're all hardwired to be code breakers, trying to unlock the secrets of the universe, one internet mystery at a time.
And sometimes maybe the journey itself is the reward.
Maybe that's the point. Okay, so we've gone from hijacked TV signals to musical enigmas, but we've got one more mystery to explore. And this one takes us deep into the heart of the internet, into the world of really weird YouTube channels.
WebDriver Torso. The name alone is enough to make you curious.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic. It's the story of a YouTube channel that was so bizarre, so seemingly pointless, that it sparked all sorts of wild theories.
So imagine this. It's 2014, and a YouTube account appears with the name WebDriver Torso. Doesn't exactly scream viral content, does it?
Not really, but it's what this channel was posting that really got people talking. I mean, the videos themselves, they were just weird.
Really weird. We're talking short clips, a few seconds long, showing red and blue rectangles arranged in different patterns with these odd beeping sounds in the background.
Yeah, it sounds like something you'd find on a public access channel at like 3 in the morning.
Exactly. But here's the thing. WebDriver Torso was uploading hundreds of these videos every day.
Sometimes up to 400. I mean, that's a lot of rectangles and beeps.
Right, and that's what got people wondering, what was the point? Was this some kind of secret code? A message from aliens? A test of YouTube's algorithms?
The theories were flying. And the fact that the channel owner never offered any explanation just fueled the speculation even more.
People were analyzing the patterns, the timing of the beeps, like they were trying to decipher a message from another dimension.
It became this internet obsession. Everyone wanted to know, what was WebDriver Torso?
And then, finally, after months of mystery, Google stepped forward and admitted that they owned the channel.
Wait, Google. As in Google.
The one and only. And their explanation was surprisingly simple. They were using the channel to test video quality on YouTube.
So all those cryptic rectangles and beeps, all that internet sleuthing,
Yeah.
it was just Google making sure their videos were working properly.
Yep. That's the official story. And you know what? It makes sense. But it didn't stop some people from clinging to their conspiracy theories.
I get it. I mean, the truth can be disappointing sometimes, can't it? It's like finding out the magician's secret and suddenly the magic's gone.
Exactly. But even though WebDriver Torso might have a mundane explanation, it still highlights this tendency we have to look for patterns, to find meaning, even in the most random things.
It shows how powerful our imaginations can be, especially when we're dealing with the unknown.
And maybe that's the real lesson here. Sometimes the most compelling mysteries are the ones that make us question everything, even if the answers turn out to be simpler than we expected.
Okay, so we've gone from creepy games on the dark web to a real-life tragedy, from hijacked TV signals to musical puzzles, and even to the bizarre world of YouTube test channels.
We've explored mysteries that remain unsolved and those that, well, have been explained at least to some degree.
But what connects all these stories, these digital enigmas that have captured our imaginations?
I think it's the internet itself, right? It's this vast, interconnected space that's constantly evolving, full of information and misinformation, where the lines between reality and fiction can get blurry.
And in that kind of environment, mysteries are bound to thrive.
They tap into our curiosity, our desire to make sense of the world around us, even when that world seems chaotic and unpredictable.
And whether those mysteries remain unsolved or get explained, they leave us with this sense of wonder, this feeling that there's still so much out there that we don't know.
And that's a good thing, right? Because it keeps us curious, it keeps us exploring, it keeps us engaged with the world.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be the ones to uncover the next big internet mystery.
Or maybe we'll create one ourselves. The possibilities are endless.
It's kind of amazing, right? All these stories, all these mysteries, all born from this digital world we've
It
created.
really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, what other secrets are lurking out there? What other rabbit holes are waiting to be explored?
And that's what I love about the internet. It's this endless frontier of information, of stories, of mysteries. There's always something new to discover, something that challenges our understanding of what's possible.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways for you? What really stood out from all these cases? I think for me, it's the reminder that the internet is a reflection of ourselves. You know, it's a place where our hopes, our fears, our curiosity, it all kind of comes together.
And sometimes it manifests in these strange, unexplained ways, like these internet mysteries. They're like digital folklore, right? Stories that we tell ourselves to make sense of this vast, complex world we've created.
Exactly. And whether they're true or not, whether they have a rational explanation or not, they tap into something deep within us, that need to explore, to question, to uncover the truth.
And maybe that's the real point, isn't it? These internet mysteries, they remind us that there's still so much out there that we don't know, so much that's still unexplained.
And that's okay. In fact, it's exciting. It keeps us curious. It keeps us searching. It keeps us engaged with the world around us.
So to all you listeners out there who love a good mystery,
The ones who stay up late, clicking through links, digging for answers.
keep exploring, keep questioning,
Ah.
keep that sense of wonder alive.
Because who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to finally solve one of these enduring enigmas.
Until next time, happy sleuthing, everyone.